and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready.
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On Kaftan TV, StarTimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500.
Monday to Friday
At 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802 993 8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Thank you for staying tuned to Kaftan TV. My name is Dayo Mogwan. I bring in now my guest, prolific, articulate public analyst, public affairs analyst, Ben Agunloye. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Happy Labor Day.
Oh, same to you. By the way, I mean, he beat me to it. Happy Labor Day to all of my viewers. Yes, happy Workers' Day. And by the way, the first story we're going to be looking at still has to do with workers. And the Nigeria Labour Congress is saying that 70,000 naira is too low for to cope with the realities of the Nigerian market today. And they're asking that there should be a wage review. And I don't know how you look at this.
Well, wage review in the likes of the current expenses and the standard of living around is a right call.
Right.
However, I would want to look at wage review will not fix the problem of living standards or even the problem
cost of living.
The cost of living. So basically, I've always pointed out that there are 5 elements we want to look at. You want to look at accommodation, rent/ownership. You want to look at transportation. You want to look at education, that's the children education. And of course, you want to look at food. And you want to look at health. Those are the 5 basic indices.
Right.
Security and other things will vary from person to person, but these 5, everybody must deal with them. So I will be looking forward to seeing a template from Labour that is saying, look, to fix or alleviate or make transportation more predictable, this is what and what has to be done.
Predictable and affordable.
Yes, predictable, of course, and you can then plan your affordability. At the moment, it's actually not predictable. You're going out and you pay 300, you are likely coming back and they will ask you for 700. So it has to be something that is fixed, and if it will be adjusted, it's something that will be announced. So it means that we need a more organized communal transport system. Where there are buses, where there are
plan to budget.
So we can budget appropriately, and even the system can see You don't need the labor, for instance, in the UK to tell you this is how much you need to live sustainably in London, or you need to live in Manchester, or you need to live in one of the countryside, in one of the shires, because there are indices that the government can pick figures from, and then they can compute and tell you, look, if you don't have this amount per week or per month, you are likely not going to be able to survive.
To live here.
But I believe that in Nigeria the government cannot correctly put such figure in space because we have not made proper planning for it. So there has to be the concept, buildings or where people live, why they are working, has got to be planned. There should, of course, at some point in the past, in the name of monetization, we sold out vehicles and houses and all. Yeah. But now we are still building. Now we are still paying rent. Government is still paying rent for some people. Right now, government is reabsorbing and re-employing drivers. So a whole lot of things. Some people that you have possibly paid off and paid them their gratuities, and possibly are on the pension scheme. Some of them are back on the payroll now. So a whole lot of inconsistencies as far as I'm concerned.
And why back on the payroll?
Some of them likely are still in the pension. Most likely, because of course we also have data and record issues. So basically it should be, what are we doing with health? Are the primary health cares there? Are the secondary health cares there? What is the link or referral system from primary to secondary to tertiary? When you have these things defined, and who is to define them? It is not the government. It is the workers who are supposed to come up with this design. If you have it in place, and maybe the government at the top now refuse, the minister refused to sign up for takeoff, then we say, okay, it is the fault, it is the a lack of political will.
But we don't have it on good authority that Labour has not made such a submission.
Well, if they have it, they should pull it out. I have not seen it anywhere where Labour says this is the referral system, or this is how our primary health care should run, this is what we should have for secondary, this is the relationship, this is what should be the referral system, this is who takes this responsibility. Even the NHS, that is for only maybe the federal government and a few states, how many Labour how many NLC, say state congresses have come out to push and demand and insist that the NHS or any other form of healthcare system is implemented and enforced in their domain. In Lagos, where there is, you still see that sometimes it is private individuals and politicians trying to sponsor and push people to enter into the scheme. So basically, we need to have an health insurance system or an healthcare system that is defined. When you take that away from bills, your shocks are removed. When the accommodation is defined, and then you know where they work, when you know where people work and where they live, then it becomes easy to organize transport. To move them around. So sometimes when you are talking about banning and unbanning bikes, I laugh because there are areas where you will never get any vehicle apart from bikes to come out to where you will start getting vehicles. And some of these things are so because people have built outside development, because at the point of them going to reside in those places, they are looking at running away from paying rent. So I want to go and own my own house. So transport you define, accommodation you define, health you define, education, to what level of education should be free. How is this going to be funded? How is this going to be monitored? It's unfortunate that we have, over the last 20 years, we have turned education in Nigeria to business. Education is no longer charity. And so that affects the labor force.
Should education be charity alone?
That's what it is everywhere in the world. At least, especially up to the age of 18. Especially up to the age of 18. There should be, and that opportunity for you to engage in the free education system till that age. However, if you think, okay, you are a bourgeois, you are a big man, you want to create an empire for yourself, you will be free to do that. But in the current situation, a lot of people have their children in private school, not because they chose to, but because either the public school is not nearby, or is not conducive, or the admission is wired up in a way that it is not accessible. So labor should be looking at least education in primary and secondary, which is most critical in my opinion to people who are still working. We should be looking at how do we make sure it is properly structured, how do we make sure that it is either free or affordable to the workforce. But because if we are only talking about increase, when you increase the wages and the school increase their fees and the transporters increase, you eventually realize that you are back to even lower than 0 point. You are to negative. And then of course, beyond that, we need to also look at, if you are asking for more money, what are the areas where you think more funds, more revenue will come in to meet up with this increased payment that you are asking for. And then you want to ask me, is our system at the moment efficient? I don't think so. Is our system effective? I don't think so. So labor should also be thinking along with employers of labor in the direction of efficiency and effectiveness. If some people are going to be more effective working 2 days a week, why keep them from Monday to Friday in the name of paying salary that cannot carry them? If you need my service for 10 hours in a week and you are paying me 70,000 per month, or maybe 10 hours or thereabout in a month, that's all you need. You know that you sit me down from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., out of which for 6 hours I'm possibly doing nothing and gisting, drinking tea, reading newspaper, or playing binary bet. It shouldn't be. So we should go to that realm of efficiency and effectiveness. So pay by the hours.
So would you vote for a situation where a lot more people work remotely?
Work remotely and are paid for the work done.
Yeah.
Not just for the time,
because when you work remotely, you are likely to cut a whole lot of costs, transport
and the rest will be taken away, and then the job you have done is measured as the basis for which you are paid. So if you are working 1 or 2 hours in a day, and you could work from wherever is near to you, as long as you are putting that effort and the work can be measured, you know that you are due for a 2 hours pay.
And what that does is that it frees up that employee to be able to take up
to do other
roles that will also bring in some income. So you can have a multi-stream of income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also free up spaces for more people to even be on the job. If I think I can give you more than 1 hour in a day, but you think you need my 1 hour, I sign it up. And if you need more than 1 hour, you have to sign some other people up. So the salary may not be big, but what you get is that there is actually more flow of income to a larger number of people, and there is more result delivered. So it's not like you have worked. I always crack that joke that Cairo seems to be policed 32 hours in a day, because according to them, the police run 8 hours shift, but there are 4 shifts in a day. So that means that the government is paying to protect that city 32 hours in a day.
How do you run 4 shifts when each shift?
Well, they have 2 hours overlap. They have 2 hours overlap for each of the shift. So in a way, that is to ensure that even before you close, the people taking over from you are already coming. So that time that you are already getting tired, there are people waiting. Fresh. So when you just close, you move into your vehicle, you go, they have their own vehicle, they take over. But they've been around for 2 hours before you close, and the people taking over from them will be there maybe for 2 hours before they close. Now they are able to do that luxury because, number one, they had 4 shifts. And so maybe in Africa, I'm not sure if there is any police service that is more effective than the Cairo police.
Yes, but that's Cairo is Africa, so maybe you're saying apart from
the Nigerian police does not even know.
No, I'm saying, if you say we are not sure that there's any place in Africa, yes, you're saying apart from Cairo.
Yes, there's no police. I don't think any African police force is as effective
as that
and efficient as the Cairo police, as the Egyptian police.
Wow. All right, I hope that my viewers are ready to join in this talk this morning. A whole lot of points have been brought out by my analyst, and I hope that we can engage on some of these things. Now let's talk about the anxiety in the PDP, because Governor also hinted at is likely defection following the Delta State wholesale defection into APC last week, effectively this week on Monday, when they were received into the party. And the man is describing his own party as like a faulty aircraft. And he's saying if you had a reason to travel and one aircraft is faulty and you have another one that is going your way and is in good shape, would you want to jump ship or not? And will you be concerned about the name, or will you be concerned about whether it's E-bomb Air or whether it's Air Peace? That is his exact words. Yeah. And so that it's not the name of the party that matters in the final analysis. It's to get good governance and all that, and get proper structure and all that. What do you say to that?
Well, yes, party by Nigeria Electoral Act, you need a party to ascend to power.
Yes.
But the primary responsibility of governance is not to the party, but bringing good, meeting the need of the people.
Please, let's allow this so we can encourage more. Hello? Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost. That means they're trying.
So basically, the way I will see it is this. If you are in government at the time you have been elected, it's not the time for party politics. As far as I'm concerned, it is the time for governance.
Yes.
And I've always said in the last 2 years, one good example of a multi-party state that I possibly have seen is Akwa Ibom. I have never heard the Senate president and
the governor
disagree on any matter in public. They've always worked together for the good of Akwa Ibom people.
So shouldn't they have sustained that, each party remaining in the party?
Now this is where the issue will lie. If he remains in the party, I don't think he's so much in danger. But then the party can bring some issues. Now this is the way I look at it. I don't know, I stand to be corrected, but I've always seen, right, the PDP as an offshoot of the NPN and the NPC, which makes them, in my opinion, a party of, do I call it the state now, or the establishment party.
Is there something wrong with that?
Yeah, the establishment party does not spend individual money, they spend public fund. The opposition tends to raise money from individual and members to do things because they are outsiders. But the establishment people look into what is in the public or the government source to do whatever they have to do. Now, from 2015 to 2023, largely, Rivers had done more of bearing the burden of the party. And that's why today, Wike thinks the party owes him a lot. Now, in the absence of a government in Rivers that can do the same that Wike was doing, then the next two states you are looking up to is Delta and Akwa Ibom. Now, and this is another lesson you need to take away from them. In 2001, after that, Bola Ige had become a minister in the Obasanjo PDP cabinet. AD was much like left with no arrowhead at the center to coordinate things. And when the governors decided they were not going to sponsor any presidential candidate, that any candidate who have his money can come and contest for president, but they were not going to use their state fund to sponsor a candidate, what was the end result? AD had no presidential candidate running to 2003. And what was the effect? 5 of the 6 AD governors lost their seat. At the time when they have chosen, maybe tacitly or directly or indirectly, to support Obasanjo for second term, if they had migrated at the time also into PDP, they would have retained their positions. Remaining in AD and supporting Obasanjo cost them their seats in 5 of the states. Apart from the president, who was then the governor of Lagos State, all the other 5 governors looking lost. So
this is about self-preservation.
So I see self-preservation moving forward to 2027. That yes, we don't have anything. The people seems to like the president, in our opinion, maybe because of some projects ongoing in their territory or for some other reasons. But as governors, they don't have anything against that. As governors, they are also not prepared to spend their state money to sponsor any presidential candidate. Because when you go to the PDP governors meeting, that was stated loud and clear. When they said they are not going to come into any alliance and this and that, it was principally saying we will not spend our money to support any presidential candidate. Our state money is our state money. It is not for the national. And I think that is what they are stated. And so those who are now migrating or reacting are just looking at it in the likes of where we are. In the likes of perhaps we don't know yet if all election will be the same day or not. Because one of the reasons that nailed the AD governors in the Southwest in 2023 was the fact that the presidential election and the governorship election was the same day. So a lot of people just did some bandwagon effect. Not because they even believed the PDP governorship candidate was better, but just thumping the two and go.
Okay, so that also says, for example, that we have a general mentality as Nigerians that states should be in league with the center politically.
Definitely.
Because that's one of the things that, like Okowa says, they want to connect with the center. And that's...
because they've always been there. They've always been with the center.
Who's always been with the center?
Delta. So being in opposition is strange to that. It's not too conversant with them. And that's why I said about the PDP as a whole. They are used to enjoying government support and government structures. But as of today, that seems not to have been there for 10 years. And we can see how that is beginning to affect the psyche of the party. It is not to say that the party will collapse. There are people who will stay, there are people who will remain, at least the likes of former Jigawa governor. Lamido is not behaving like he would ever need. Somebody George are there.
Let's take this call, Ben, please. Hello? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
You're welcome to KAFTAN TV.
Morning.
Yeah.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Happy New Month.
The same to you, and happy Workers' Day.
Thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel from Yobe State.
Emmanuel from Yobe, let's have your take.
Thank you very much once again, my brother. I'm about to talk about the labor.
Yeah.
I think the labor, what I'm not seeing from labor, that they're not achieving anything at all. Since they are doing that demonstration they're doing. Because they're not serious. If they're serious, I can't see reason why they continue to march up and down, but there's nothing, any good achievement which I'm seeing from them. Maybe either the president of the labor will collect money and go back and sleep. Tomorrow you just come out to a street, come back tomorrow again, they give money, go and sleep. So I feel that they are not doing a good work at all. Since they are doing this level, I never see any good achievement which they make in their own life. People are suffering here and there, they are seeing it. People are not paying well, they are seeing it. When the chairman come out and just make a little noise, he go back and just sleep. They give him a lot of money, just go back and just share his own people and go and just sleep. So that is not correct at all. I'm not. They are laboring as marching on the street. That's not any effective at all. And the president doesn't even welcome them at all because they are not serious.
What do you suggest they could have done in the alternative?
Yes, what I'm trying to do that, let them be serious and make sure that whatever they wanted to do, let not and do it. Instead that want to do it 3 days, let that 3 days serious. Let's work 1 day and just go and sleep. Tomorrow is that labor. Doesn't make any sense with me.
All right.
It doesn't make any sense at all. So another one again, which is mentioned about defecting from another party to another party.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that one. This Okowa, which raise up and go to APC. You know, say that of safer and fly together. This man, which is the governor for 8 years, the PDP was okay with him. He stayed there, he achieved everything he wanted to achieve because they are accusing that he has about 3 trillion naira and they want to
1.3.
1.3, and he wanted to go free from that place. He wanted to enter APC to judge himself
and it's
to all those
allegedly
atrocity. Let him be buried there. So that's the problem they're having. Many people that's why they say that if you come to APC, your sin is forgiven. Your sin is forgiven for APC, but it's not forgiven in heaven.
all right. Thank you, Emmanuel.
So
Yes,
what I'm trying
yes.
to say right, that all those people are going to that place, let them be very careful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you. Your sin may be forgiven by APC, but it's not forgiven in heaven.
It's not forgotten even in the system. And besides, I think that people should just leave that issue. If that is the only reason people will defect, then Fayose should be in APC. Sule Lamido should be in APC.
No, people have different. Because if you look at Fayose from the very beginning, even when he was being tried very regularly, you would have seen he's got thick skin. One, he probably felt that he has put his books in order and that nothing is going to come of it. You will see the readiness with which he was following them. In fact, stylishly,
because EFCC had come up with a case against him. Sule Lamido's son had been arrested even before he left office as governor.
Yes.
But up till today, he's still in PDP. Okowa had not been arrested.
No, people will react to situations differently, clearly.
Yeah. But James Manager had left him. The people who were with him had already been leaving for APC. The senator representing him moved to APC more than 2 months ago.
That's the senator, and that senator is not in the news for 1.3 trillion alleged whatever. Hello, good morning. Oh, hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
All right, you're welcome to KAFTAN TV, yeah?
Thank you very much. Let me quickly appreciate your guest, and I also, as usual, appreciate KAFTAN TV.
Thank
for
you.
giving us this ample opportunity to say our mind. So many things resonate with me.
All right.
But let me begin by the issue. Anyway, I'm SMD calling from Lagos.
SMD from Lagos.
Once
You're
again,
welcome.
thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I concur with what you just mentioned, especially the area of effectiveness and efficiency is very, very important. And also, Labour should define areas where they think things should be addressed. It's a very, very important issue. That is why sometimes back when they set up that committee of minimum wage, I think the committee did not work well in this regarding this issue, honestly speaking. This is Nigeria, this is our country. Let me be honest with you. Constitution outlines the structure and the power of government, including, the separation of power between the legislative, executive, and judiciary branches of the state. So, when we go in line, according to the Constitution, believe me, we will not be in this place. The main issue is, because why I said so, a constitution provides a stable framework for governance, allowing citizens and businesses to plan and invest with confidence for the benefit of the citizens. So, our government always travels to abroad. Government in those countries provide mass transit assisted transportation everywhere, between railway, buses, and so on and so forth. Why are they not applying this kind of system in our country? Almost 2 years, the federal government mentioned of CNG. I stand to be corrected. In the northern state of Nigeria, there is no any CNG station. That's number one. Likewise, in the southeast and the south, so many states there is no CNG stations. Where are the promises? What about the welfare of the workers that the government mentioned? I think during the democracy day. I don't know. Sometimes the policy is on paper, but the implementation is the issue. So that's the problem. And are we for real? That's my question. We have the executive, we have the judiciary, we have the legislature. But all they were after is decanting from one party to another. The welfare of the citizen. That's the issue. So for how long shall we remain in this present predicament? I could remember Mr. President mentioned, if you give me this mandate, if I cannot supply power for 4 years, don't elect me in the second time. Is that so? Where is electric power? Where is the security?
Well,
that's the issue. We have the potential, we have the resources, we have everything, we have the manpower, we have the experts. And like your president mentioned, the education now, it has become business. Believe me, if your son is in private school, I don't know about government school, each and every exam you have to let payment. Apart from the school fees, each and every exam, starting from first time exam, second time exam, third time exam, they must be payment. What happened with the school fees? Is the Ministry of Education aware of this?
All right, SMD. SMD, I must say thank you for your contribution. Thank you so very much. You had some of the issues you raised there. Yeah. You probably want to...
I think it's just saying it as it is.
As it is.
You need effectiveness, you need monitoring, you need evaluation, and those are not jobs for politicians. Those are jobs for people in the civil service. Those are jobs for consultants. And these guys are those the labor tends to represent. So that's why we're saying, if you are talking about better pay, wages and better working condition, you also need to look at people doing their job effectively and efficiently. If that is done, some of the laxities and the inadequacies in the system would have been appropriately corrected.
All right. And so let's take a look again at the defection plans of the Akwa Ibom governor. You heard the party is pleading with him that he should not go. Has the party not left things too late right now? Because as you talk about Akwa Ibom, there are rumors about Rivers, there are rumors about several other states. I'll get back to you after this call. Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, well done, sir.
Welcome to Kaftan TV.
Yeah, well done, sir.
Yeah. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, and then you can go on to make your point.
Okay, my name is I come from Port Harcourt.
From where?
Port Harcourt.
Port Harcourt.
Port Harcourt. Okay, go on, please.
Yeah. I want to talk about the labor.
Go on, please.
Yeah. The issue you have Nigeria today is labor. Because labor is not carrying masses along. That was the issue was this. Greedy. The labor is too greedy. The issue is that when they greedy that when they want to do ranking, they can talk about their own, they cannot talk about masses. How the society can move forward? See, they are everywhere now. Nobody can talk. Even though they want to talk, they call them to assure of all those things. They will talk another thing, they cannot do it. Even though the salary they collect, and they cannot even use it. Sometimes you can do something, sometimes you can do like maybe you are doing somebody, they cannot know you are doing yourself. So they do themselves. Because this thing is everybody. Anybody, you know, this thing is a failure for everybody now. Because to eat for everybody now is not easy. I don't know why. Before they go beat this first subsidy, there's some arrangement. Now, see the amount they collect now. 70,000 is money for Nigeria.
Well, Ade, I guess I must come in here because they did not ask for 70,000. If you recall, they actually asked for about 675,000, if I remember clearly. Even though for me that was laughable because there was no way they were going to get 675. But again, if you want to attempt the branch of a tree, like they say, then you aim for the top. And so it was government that offered 70. So it would be wrong to say that look at what they went and got. I mean, it's what they pushed. I mean, you know, there was so much drama, there was so much struggle around the 70,000. Eventually, they had to capitulate because they had to move forward. And then several other areas where you talked about, I do not quite agree that it's entirely the fault of labor. There's a limit to which you can. Somebody called before and said they would schedule something for 3 days and they will do it for just 1 day. If you find that you are being tear-gassed, if members of the labor are being pummeled right, left, and center by pellets of whatever and all that, you think safety. You think of the safety of your people. So there are several areas. And then when you say labor is not fighting for masses, labor is an organized structure, and they have their mandate to cover labor. They can't cover everybody. Yeah, I'm not holding brief. Yeah.
It's never that sort of no, they plan to protect. They people want to protect all those things. They will check mine tomorrow. Say no, don't protect. No, this, that, this. You understand?
That's what I try to explain now. Thank you very much, Ade. Thank you very much, Ade. Yeah. All right. I think that we must get some of these issues in the proper context. If you say they want to do, I mean, there are several reasons why you want to do a 7-day protest and then you cut it down to 2. They could have appealed to you, they could have brought better argument, and then there could be force. And safety of lives of members is at stake. So I don't think that we should lay that as a blame on the doorstep of labor.
They also need to understand this concept. The primary function and responsibility of labor is to their members.
It's to their members. That's very critical.
Dues.
Yes.
So it is therefore not mandatory for them to carry the masses along. Labor unions are not civil society organizations.
That differentiation has to be
that demarcation is there. Therefore, the kind of action some of them are asking for are what the CSOs should be doing. Now, it is possible for labor and CSOs to partner.
True.
But it is not mandatory, because there are causes that labor will need to fight alone as labor so that they can get the right result.
Thank you very much. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, you're welcome to KAFTAN TV.
My name is Ola from Lagos.
Ola, Lagos, you're welcome.
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day to every staff of KAFTAN and to Nigeria as a whole.
We wish you the same, huh?
Let me start from the labor aspect. I think if anyone that understands the role of labor from the time of Palimodule, will understand that the concept of labor is not just to fight and cause a bloodshed. No. Labor, organized labor, their tools is based on negotiation. That's why industrial relation is part of their role. You come to the table, you negotiate. Sometimes you can have a deadlock, sometimes you can have a way. The only thing is that there will be, a give and take when it comes to labor discussion and labor negotiation. So labor, organized labor negotiation is part of that too. And they have step by step before they can go on industrial action. So most of the time, people look at labor because, and I will not blame them, because, like we said, the organized labor, they represent the entire labor of the country and whatever that affects them. For example, if they say that, okay, fine, you have increased the salary of labor of Nigerian worker to 70,000, go and check what will happen to the market. The woman selling matches in the market, they said after they have increased the salary. The woman selling pepper. So before you know it, it will cascade and start to affect the Nigerians that are not member of NLC. So because what the decision they have taken, it will cascade on everybody. So that's why people keep shouting labor, because it will go to whatever is done to them to go to the market. Now, I remember during Jonathan regime, because I was also, I followed that up very well. When labor were involved, Jonathan was about to remove subsidy, and there was a protest in Ojota. There was a protest all over the nation.
Yeah.
But both labor and civil
society,
civil activists, they join force in all these things to ensure that this action of the president does not fall through. But at the end of the day, when labor had a negotiation with the then government, they didn't come back to the civil society, and that is where the division started. Labor, I remember the guy, I've forgotten the name, the president of Labor then, Umaru. They negotiated and they concluded, and through them, the discussion that is coming, that was on the fourth border was watered down, and the civil society felt that Labor betrayed them, and that was when the government were able to deploy military to all those stations where people was going to, and the thing went down. So that at the end of the day, Jonathan reversed it because people protested. So what I'm saying is that it is the devil on whoever that is in government. See, Labour can really do certain things. When the government repeated they want to weaponize poverty, you see, and they said, you will talk from morning till night. I will not listen to you. I've seen the president say, by the time you talk, and I will not listen to you. Then Labour will have, look at one Labour.
Exactly, they will wear you out. Yeah.
You know, the Defense National Green, people are saying that Labour has committed a treasonable offense. Why? Because we are not ready to listen to Labour. So when you have the government that said, let us weaponize poverty, so that the people's mind can be taken away. So that when we come back for another election, by the time they give them to 2,000, automatically we have no choice.
Allah, we have to run. And I'm sure you probably still have one more you want to talk about. Really? Do you?
Those are the defective. Don't leave those ones alone. They know what it is for their greed, and not for anybody. Not for any data people. God bless you. Happy work.
God bless you, Allah. Bye-bye. Thanks so very much. Yeah, so now let's even still talk about the wage thing, the wage review request of Labour. Now, usually when they sign off on the wage review, minimum wage thing, there's the proviso that this will be reviewed in 5 years. I think it used to be 5 years, but this last one was 3 years.
Removed it. No, the president had actually removed the proviso to say that we don't have to wait for 3 or 5 years.
Oh, okay.
We should do this as often as
the need arises. Okay.
So I think from the president that was clear the last time that we may not need to wait for that 3 or 5 year cycle.
Because if that proviso was still in place, then whatever they are saying
before the review is done.
Okay. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I guess he didn't quite make up his mind. We still have a few minutes. Let's still talk about one more issue. You have NJC suspends 3 judges without pay and goes against the IMO. Is it IMO? One of the judges that's just been appointed says no to the appointment and all that.
Yeah, at least it's good to know that for once NJC is coming very clear on the matter of discipline, which we think is their primary responsibility. It is now also for the public to go back and look at what were the procedures followed in reporting these cases that has led the NJC to take action. In the past, there has been judges that were challenged, and eventually the NJC will come out to say wrong procedure was followed, and then they end up not being punished, maybe for technicalities and other related matters. So I think that for this to sail through, there is a justice of the Court of Appeal there. There are 2 justices of the High Court. I think there is the popular Justice Eku, and there is Justice Inyang of the Court of Appeal. Now, clearly written, we need to study what was the procedure
So that we can continue
the
some of
accusation or for the petition to be filed.
Right.
So that rather than stay on the street and condemn the entire judiciary with one swoop, people who think they have issues should follow the right procedures and tender these cases so that it gets to the NJC. And the NJC, who is responsible for wielding the big stick, can then go and take action. So I think for me, it's a positive development, at least for those who want sanity in the judiciary. And for us to believe more that their lordships are sitting to do things that are in the interest of good governance and that are in the interest of justice and fairness.
All right. I'll get back to you after this call. Hello? Good morning. You're on to KAFTAN TV.
Yeah, morning, sir.
Yeah, morning.
Hi, sir. Yeah. Happy New Month, sir.
Same to you.
Yes, sir. So, I'm Daniel Samuel Baba from KB State.
All right, Samuel Baba, welcome.
Thank you, sir. So, I'm here at KB State, and I really enjoy your conversation of the day.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I only call to greet you. May God promote you to higher level, sir.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you, Samuel Baba.
I really appreciate and enjoying your conversation here.
Have a blessed day, a blessed month. All right?
Thank you. God bless you.
Bless you. Bye-bye. Aha. So that's someone from Kebbi State saying he's seeing what's being done here. I hope that other people can join us to move Nigeria. We're talking about the judges and how you see the action of the NJC.
Yeah, so like I said, their action for me, it's good, both for the optics and for the reality. It's good to say that, look, yes, we are in NJC, we are responsible for appointment, we are responsible for promotion, we are responsible for discipline. And at this point, I've been able to wield the big stick on judges of the High Court and even of the Superior Court in the Court of Appeal. So it's an evidence to say nobody is actually above the law, no regulation. And so that should give the confidence, in my opinion, to the public to say, if you have issues with judges, follow the right procedure and follow up the case to NJC. Once the petition gets to NJC, at least for once they have given us the assurance that they will do justice as it should be applicable.
Done. All right. There's this story that's in almost all the papers talking about the professor who was convicted at the lower court concerning Senator Akpabio's election in 2019, and the Court of Appeal upholding the conviction. I don't know whether you want to weigh in on that, but let's allow this person. Hello? Hello, good morning. Yeah, you're welcome to KAFTAN TV.
Welcome. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Happy Workers' Day.
Oh, same to you.
Okay. Well, I want to contribute based on your topic of discussion for today.
Go ahead, please, after your name and your location, yeah.
Okay, my name is Rabi Salif, calling you from Kaduna State.
All right, then. Go on.
Okay, thank you. We are talking about the workers' welfare. Is it true?
Correct, yes. The NLC saying that they need more money in the face of the current
yes, exactly.
realities.
When you look at the current situation, the workers are suffering in Nigeria. That is why there is a lot of brain drain. If you look at the people that are migrating in search of greener pasture in abroad, most of the countries they are going, they are not richer than Nigeria, but they are going there for in search of greener pasture because of the poor working condition in Nigeria, and there is no job certainty. So, but other people from one country cannot come to Nigeria to build Nigeria. It is only the students of Nigeria can come to build Nigeria to become a better place, habitable for every individual. So I am not in support of people migrating, Japa or brain drain to go somewhere and work beside our own country. Need such experienced people like them. But the government has its own part. Sincerely speaking, politicians are becoming richer and workers are becoming poorer every day. Considering the skyrocketing of everything, school fees, house rent, even potable water, you have to buy. So if the government can ameliorate this condition, especially the workers, this 77 is not enough as a minimum wage. It's not enough because how much are you paying for rent? How much are you paying for school fees of your children, medical bill, and other things? So that is why Nigerian workers are suffering and becoming poorer every day.
All right. Let me quickly ask you. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just asking based on all the angles. So, your position is that 70,000 naira is not enough, but there are states that are already complaining they can't even pay the 70,000. Where does that leave us?
Yes, if you look at most of the states, even though most of the states they not afford to pay such amount of money up to now, but so others can comply. If you look at the state where I came from, KAFTAN State, the governor has done a lot because he has shown sympathy of the people and start paying since time. Start paying that amount since time. So that other states cannot pay the afford. But we are hoping the NLC can put pressure those who do not pay to continue paying so that everything will be normal, will be equalized.
All right.
To prevent the trend. Yes.
Thank you.
Because if you look at the states, like there are so many states that cannot pay. Every one of the states in major delta areas, this is Cross River. I feel that most of the workers are actually complaining about the inability of the government to pay such amount. But actually, I don't know whether if they start paying or not. But in KAFTAN State, we have already paid since time. The governor of KAFTAN State has already paid since time.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll need to leave it there because of time. And thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah, the story you were talking about, going straight forward, that's 2019 election.
Yes.
Whoever is in office today is in office on the ground of 2023 election.
Exactly.
So I don't think it should be about name calling or anything. What we need to go back and look at is this. Was it only in Akwa Ibom that kind of thing happened? No. But Mike Igini was able to follow through. Who was then the rec? I think he's retired now.
Yeah.
So we need to look at what was the template that Mike Igini followed. How was he able to get things done appropriately and properly?
I think just that he refused to be compromised.
And that should be the information going around. That should become a standard to which we will hold all our recs in the future election. Because I keep telling people it's not about who decamps or who is not decamping. It's about our electoral laws. It's about our electoral process. It's about how we count the election. It's about how we actualize the result. The only counting point as far as I know is the polling unit. And the polling unit for me should also be the only entering point for election data. So we should be advocating now and be putting up platform to ensure that as against the image collation portal, IREV, we should be talking about a data collation portal. Which means that in all the over 176,000 polling units, once the elections are done and you impute your figure, at the 8,808 electoral wards, the people who are in the collation point there can see the figure as you are putting it and it's adding up. So each ward knows the figure even before you come with any paper from the polling unit.
Making the system foolproof.
So it makes the system foolproof. So if we get to that and we can achieve that technology-wise, then we know that the next election will be a better election. So it's not about bullying or name calling anybody as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
it is that a case of malpractices has been proven and somebody has been punished.
Exactly.
How do we ensure that going forward all cases of malpractices can be proven against the individuals that are involved and they are appropriately
again, just as we begin to leave, I think that this also talks about timeliness of judgments, because even if appeal court is upholding the judgment, some 2019 to now is about 6 years after.
Yeah.
It's of non-effect on the person who benefited from that. He
was actually truncated. The rerun was done, and the person who should win won, and he has finished his term.
Okay, but I'm saying another point that needs to be made is that you need to be careful for yourself. Sometimes when you take the fall for people, they run, how do you say it now? They leave you under the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read or I've heard of a statement from the senator concerned saying it did not work for him. So you, in the end, will suffer entirely for whatever you do that is wrong under the law. Everybody's going to wash their hands off you. So be careful out there. We need to go now. I must say thank you to you for staying tuned to Kaftan TV. And I hope that you are still here at 2, from 2 to 3:30. We will be taking on polity, and it's something that's very interesting, something that's very touching. I just intend I prepare your mind so that you can be a part of what's going to happen at 2 o'clock during the polity. Thank you very much, Ben Agunoye, for being here.
Thanks for
and thank you, production team, wonderful team. God bless every one of us. This is my bye-bye. My name remains Dayo Omomo.
Some say Nigeria's 26-year political sojourn, now in its fourth republic, is a story of a navigator exploring a particularly difficult terrain. Can the nation scale the hurdles ahead, or will the headwinds be too much? Join me, Segun Ojelade, as I ask the difficult questions, moderate uncensored debates, razor-sharp analysis, and unveil the truth shaping our democracy on the program Politics 004, showing KAFTAN TV. Politics 004, policy and politics. Join us. Some say Nigeria's 26-year political sojourn, now in its fourth republic, is a story of a navigator exploring a particularly difficult terrain. Can the nation scale the hurdles ahead, or will the headwinds be too much? Join me, Segun Ojelade, as I ask the difficult questions, moderate uncensored debates, razor-sharp analysis, and unveil the truth shaping our democracy on the program Politics 004, showing KAFTAN TV. Politics 004. Policy and Politics. Join us. Some say Nigeria's 26-year political sojourn, now in its fourth republic, is a story of a navigator exploring a particularly difficult terrain. Can the nation scale the hurdles ahead, or will the headwinds be too much? Join me, Segun Ojelade, as I